how this whole process will work. You will need to answer me because I cannot see anybody here. So I need responses from you quickly. Okay. So more than 3-4 students should be giving answers whenever I ask questions. Right?
Okay, doctor.
Okay, let's give 2 minutes to your friends who are joining still. Then we'll start. So I received a question in the chat section. Can you explain causes of hypoxia? We'll go to there. Okay, we'll go there in that chapter. And we'll discuss that point. Okay. Remind me at that time. So what I do is now I'll open the slides, PowerPoint slides related to your subject. Okay. Shall we start?
Yes, doctor.
Who answered just now? Okay. Where is your group leader? Abdul Rahman is there, I think. Yes. Okay. Whereas the girls group leader? Okay. Is that the girls group leader?
Yeah, me.
I didn't, I think she didn't come yet, so I'm the second leader.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. So shall we start?
yes.
Oh, okay. So my question to both boys and girls, recommend the first lecture you want me to revise, and in that, if there is any particular point you want me to focus on. If you have questions, if you have any difficult topic, we'll take that first, and then we move to the next lectures. Okay. If you don't have questions, I will be asking questions. Let's revise and see to it that we remember things here in the lecture itself so that you don't have to go home and study again. Okay. Is the plan good enough for you?
Yes,
Yes.
doctor.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, doctor. Sure.
So recommend the first lecture we take out of those 8 lectures.
Maybe the last two.
Last 2 you want me to take first?
Yes, please.
Okay. Anybody else? Is it a good idea?
Yes, doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go ahead with the last 2 lectures. So let me open the last 2 lectures. Number 8 is applied and no, number 7 is a regulation and number 8 is applied. So let's start with in reverse direction. Let's take 8 first, then go to 7. Okay for you?
Yes, doctor.
Yes,
Okay.
doctor.
Now I'm going to share the lecture PowerPoint here. Okay. Are you able to see the lecture now?
Yes.
Yes, doctor. Yes.
So my very first question to you in this lecture is, what is eupnea?
Normal breathing.
Okay. Anybody else? All of you agree? Say yes or no
Yes.
quickly, please.
Yes,
Agree.
doctor. Yes.
Remember this very clearly, please. If you take lot of time for answering simple things or anything, you are the one who are losing the time. Okay. I can give you lecture for 2 hours or 3 hours also, because my next lecture will be at 4 o'clock in Farabi. So I have a lot of time, but I don't think you will have a lot of time. So quickly, yes or no, whenever I ask questions, okay? So that we don't waste time for no reason. If we need explanation, we'll use time, but don't waste time for which is your own. Okay.
Okay, doctor.
Audio response is very important for me because I don't see your faces. I don't understand whether you are getting the point or not. So it is very important for every minor thing you keep answering yes or no. Okay. Let's go ahead. So my first question was eupnea. So once somebody said that it is a normal breathing. All of you agree?
Agreed.
Yes.
Doctor.
Yes.
So whenever somebody says eupnea, it means normal breathing. Eupnea with E. Okay. Let us go ahead and see. In this lecture, most of the lecture was about terminology. So let us see some other important terminologies we discussed, and then we'll go to high altitude physiology. Okay. So this is our first terminology, apnea. Quickly, what is that?
Temporary stoppage of breathing.
Temporary stoppage of breathing, temporary cessation of breathing. Please remember that. What is hypoxia?
Low oxygen.
Okay, so insufficient oxygen at tissue level is hypoxia. Okay, it is not anoxia. Anoxia is totally no oxygen to the tissue. Hypoxia यानी less than normal oxygen to the tissue. Insufficient oxygen to the tissue. Do you agree with me, all of you?
Yes.
Yes.
So remember the definition: insufficient hypoxia. Insufficient oxygen level is hypoxia. So this is one thing which you have to remember. Second thing which you have to remember are the four causes. Okay, clear? So four major types of hypoxia are mentioned here. So please remember them. What are they? Okay. If hypoxia is occurring because the air, the partial pressure of oxygen reaching the blood is less than normal. Okay, less than normal oxygen is in the blood. It may be because oxygen is less in the air. It may be because the bronchi are constricted and person is not able to bring in air. It may be because the respiratory membrane is not allowing oxygen to go in blood. So any reason which decreases partial pressure of oxygen inside the blood is hypoxic hypoxia. Can you remember this? Decrease PO2 in blood. Here it is written inspired air. So inspired air goes into blood, the oxygen from inspired air, and partial pressure of arterial oxygen is less than normal. Okay.
Okay, doctor. Yes.
Hypoxic hypoxia is decrease PO2 in arterial blood. Can you remember this?
Yes,
Yes.
doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So some example why it will decrease. I just now give you example. So one example is
Altitude.
low oxygen in the atmosphere itself. Another example is
High
bronchi
obstruction.
constriction, not allowing air to go in. Here it is written as increased airway resistance. Very good. So this was our second example. Third example is somewhere from the alveoli. Anything in alveoli, decreased surface area or increased membrane thickness. Okay. Any one reason will be sufficient. So remember one or two examples for this. Any difficulty here?
No.
Okay.
Clear, doctor.
So hypoxia, things to remember is decrease partial pressure of oxygen in blood. Second thing to remember is two examples, please. Let's make it more simple. Two examples. Less oxygen in atmosphere, and second is anything with the alveoli or bronchi. Any reason you can remember. Here is a list given here. You can see here the list here, complete. These are the examples. Okay. Let us go ahead. Second one is anemic hypoxia. Again, oxygen is less to the tissue, therefore it is hypoxia, but it is because of anemia. Anemia is decreased capacity of blood to carry oxygen, to deliver oxygen. Okay, so the blood is not able to carry it properly because maybe hemoglobin is less, maybe RBCs are less, maybe whole blood is less. Clear?
Yes.
Simple.
Yes.
Anemia can be less hemoglobin, less number of RBC, less amount of blood in the body, bleeding occurring or something in traffic and something like that. Okay. Some other examples are given here in which can in which you can remember this. which hypoxia, anemic hypoxia occurs is carbon monoxide poisoning. Carbon monoxide poisoning occurring, it will not allow oxygen to bind to hemoglobin, carbon monoxide will bind. So 1 or 2 examples are good enough here. Okay. What is stagnant hypoxia? Somebody answer, please.
Lose blood flow. Flow
Okay.
of blood. Lose flow
Okay.
of blood.
So blood is normal, but the machine to allow it, make it flow is not working. Yani heart may not be working properly, or arteries are constricted. Something not allowing blood to reach the tissue. So tissue perfusion, yani tissue receiving blood is not occurring. Reduced tissue perfusion. Can you remember this?
Yes,
Yes,
doctor.
doctor. Yes, doctor.
Yes.
Okay. Somebody new student, please answer what is stagnant hypoxia. I will tell you the answer. You just have to repeat. Stagnant hypoxia is reduced tissue perfusion. Somebody new, other people. Stagnant hypoxia is reduced tissue perfusion, or reduced tissue perfusion is called as stagnant hypoxia. Somebody new, please. Repeat.
Can I
Just
answer?
the
Reduced
answer.
perfusion.
Sorry, please repeat. I'm sorry.
Blood not flow to the particular tissue.
Yes. Okay. Now, what I'm trying to do here is, like school children, I'm making you say these things so that you remember. There is a reason if I repeat things more than 3 times. Okay. So repeat this sentence. Reduced tissue perfusion results in or causes stagnant hypoxia, or called as stagnant hypoxia. Different words can be used, isn't it? So repeat this. Reduced tissue perfusion occurs in stagnant hypoxia.
Reduced tissue perfusion occurs in stagnant hypoxia.
All of you, can you remember this sentence, whatever your friend said just now?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. So this reduced tissue perfusion and reduced blood supply occurs in certain condition. One is decreased cardiac output, as in heart failure. Okay. So output of the heart is not normal, it is decreased. So heart failure. Other is blockage due to thrombus or emboli. So these are the example. The next one is histotoxic hypoxia. Here the cell is receiving oxygen, but it cannot utilize it. Histo yani cell, toxic yani toxicity of the cell. The cell is not working properly. Okay, so that is histotoxic hypoxia. Let us go ahead. Effects of hypoxia are there. You can read this at your home at your time. Okay. Any difficulty in hypoxia part? Somebody had asked a question here. So are you clear now?
Clear, doctor.
Okay. So the next terminology is hyperapnea, tachypnea, and hyperventilation. Okay. So can you tell me what is tachypnea?
Fast breathing but shallow.
Fast and shallow breathing. What is hyperventilation?
Fast breathing in excess
without-
of body requirement.
Very important, in excess of metabolic requirement. This is the only sentence which is very important, you have to remember. Okay. Hyperventilation in excess of metabolic requirement, right? Let's go ahead. What is hypercapnia?
Increased CO2.
Increase carbon dioxide level in body. It may be blood, it may be extracellular fluid or intracellular fluid, whatever. Increase carbon dioxide level in body. Okay. What is hypocapnia?
Decrease CO2.
Decrease in CO2 in body.
Decrease CO2 level in body. Very good. Please remember this word. What is dyspnea?
Difficult in breathing.
What is cyanosis?
Bluish discolor because the low oxygen.
Decrease, okay, bluish discoloration of mucosa is very right, and it is due to decrease oxygen in hemoglobin. Okay, so it is in hemoglobin that oxygen is less. So deoxygenated hemoglobin is more and oxygenated hemoglobin is less. Okay, so that is cyanosis. Okay. Oxygen toxicity, you already know it is more than normal oxygen, more than normal pressure. When you are giving oxygen with higher pressure, it is called as hyperbaric oxygen. Now we come to another important aspect, that is asphyxia. Okay, what is asphyxia? Quickly, please.
Blockage of respiration.
Blockage of respiratory tract.
Accepted. All of you, can you remember asphyxia is a condition where there is blockage of respiratory tract. Okay, it may occur because somebody is choking the throat, and it may occur due to asthma or any other condition causing severe bronchoconstriction. Right or wrong?
Right.
Right.
Okay, so which two example I gave you?
Asthma.
Hypoxia and
Choking.
hypercapnia.
Choking
Hypercapnia.
and asthma. I gave you two examples. Bronchoconstriction, if it is occurring, a severe attack of asthma causes bronchoconstriction, inflammation, causing blockage of the bronchi. Trachea itself gets blocked. So much severe swelling occurs in the smooth muscles and bronchi. Okay, what is the effect?
Hypoxia and hypercapnia.
Very good. So two things happen when asphyxia occurs. One is hypoxia, second is hypercapnia. Can you remember this?
Yes.
So what are the two things which occur in asphyxia?
Hypoxia and hypercapnia.
Okay, very good. So let us go ahead. What are the two periodic breathing names? Name of two periodic breathing, two examples of periodic breathing.
Chine
Quiet breathing.
and
Biot.
Cheyne-Stokes breathing and Byard's breathing. Very good. Okay, now we come to high altitude physiology. Here what you have to remember is, as you go up, partial pressure of oxygen decreases, and therefore the body has to give immediate response. So two things which you have to remember is, what is the immediate response and what is long-term response to high altitude. Can you remember this?
Yes.
So what will happen when you go at high altitude? There will be decreased partial pressure of oxygen, yani hypoxia will occur in the tissue. So what will be the immediate response?
Hyperventilation.
Okay, number one is hyperventilation, yani
tachycardia.
increase in heart rate. Number two is, increase in respiratory rate. Number two is
Tachycardia.
tachycardia. Can you remember these two very important responses, immediate responses to hypoxia when a person is going in at high altitude?
Yes.
Okay, so these are the two very important immediate effect of high altitude. Responses given whenever there is hypoxia due to high altitude or any reason hypoxia is there, this response will be there. Heart rate will increase and respiratory rate will increase. Okay. What is acclimatization?
Getting used to
Used to what?
the condition of high altitude.
High altitude, yani low atmospheric oxygen. Okay, getting used to low atmospheric oxygen pressure at high altitude is called as acclimatization. Now when we say getting used to, yani certain changes which occur. One, we have already seen the immediate changes, that was increase in respiratory rate, second was increase in heart rate. Now we see long-term changes which occur. Okay, again the changes which are mentioned in these slides are more or less immediate one, short term. Okay, pulmonary ventilation and respiratory rate is increased, number of RBCs are increased, the RBCs are stored in spleen and bone marrow, they are released so that whatever less oxygen is there, they will carry. Diffusing capacity of the lung is increased. How will you increase diffusing capacity of lung? One example.
Increase vascularity.
You remember the four factors which occur?
Okay. Increase surface area.
Increase surface area. So vessels become dilated, yani the surface area increases. So increased surface area is a very good example. So remember that.
Doctor,
Okay. Yes, please.
what's the difference between temporary change and permanent change?
Okay. we are coming to permanent change. These were temporary change. Yani heart rate is increased, respiratory rate is increased, the spleen which was storing RBCs, they are released. These are all temporary changes. If the person is climbing mountain and he comes back, everything becomes normal. Permanent changes are the size of the heart changes, size of the lung changes, the RBCs production site. All the long bones are continuously producing RBC. In a normal person, all long bones produce RBC or not? A person living in
No.
Riyadh?
No.
No. In a person who is living in mountain, these are permanent changes. Even the long bones are producing RBC. Okay. So these are the permanent changes. Their heart size is different. Their lung size is different. They have more number of RBCs in the blood permanently. These are the permanent changes, and all permanent changes are called as acclimatization. Natural acclimatization is a long-term change. Any difficulty here?
No.
Please remember, natural acclimatization or acclimatization, we are talking about people who are living in the mountain have got permanent change. Okay. So if the body is not able to adapt, a person is climbing in the mountain, what are the effects? All the effects are called as acute mountain sickness. So you have to remember two examples of acute mountain sickness, two major things which occur in acute mountain sickness. One is cerebral edema and second one is pulmonary edema. Just remember these two words. Okay. Can you remember this?
Yes, okay.
So two major effects of acute mountain sickness are pulmonary
Cerebral.
edema and second is cerebral edema. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Please remember this, and this really occurs normally every time when a person is climbing mountain and not giving time for adaptation or acclimatization. Okay, this is very normal. I told you to watch this movie Everest, so it is there very nicely shown all these signs and symptoms. Okay, for your exam you have to remember these two signs of acute mountain sickness. Clear?
Yes.
Clear, doctor.
So this is all from this lecture. Any question?
Yes, doctor.
Yes, please.
Wait. And hypoxia. You said there is four causes of hypoxia. One of
Four
them
types
is
of hypoxia.
no causes of
Okay.
hypoxia.
Okay.
One of them is breathing normal but not coming to the lung.
Okay.
How?
Because the tract is blocked, maybe asthma, maybe there is less air in the oxygen. So many reasons can cause this, even though oxygen, everything in the body is normal, but the oxygen is not receiving normal. Okay. It may be due to blockage, it may be food block, any reason, conductive system of the respiratory tract is blocked. Whatever reason. Okay.
Okay.
So point is, that is hypoxic hypoxia, yani the oxygen, even though it is normal, but it is not reaching the blood. Any condition which prevents oxygen to reach blood is hypoxic hypoxia. Okay.
Doctor,
Okay.
I have a
Yes,
question.
Yes, please.
In hypoxia, there's a causes. You said two
Yes.
causes, right? One increased airway resistance
Okay.
and one high altitude, right? Only these two.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. High altitude and less oxygen in the atmosphere. So even though you are trying, the oxygen is reaching less in the blood. So that is hypoxia. Increase airway resistance, yani bronchoconstriction. All of you remember this sentence regardless of this lecture. This is first lecture question. You have to remember increase airway resistance, yani
Bronchoconstriction.
bronchoconstriction. Can you remember this? Bronchoconstriction causes increased airway resistance. So less air travels, okay, to the alveoli.
Okay.
So this was very important. Anything else? Very clear?
Inshallah.
Shall we go to next lecture?
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor.
Okay. Let me share the next lecture. That was, what was the next lecture? Regulation. Number 7. Regulation of respiration Okay. Okay. So mostly we discussed about, the centers and how they are regulated, right? Are you able to see the slides? No?
No.
Not yet.
No.
No.
Okay, let me share. Okay. So in this lecture, we discussed about the 4 centers and what is the effect of PO2, PCO2 and H ion on all these 4 centers. Okay, clear? So let us go and discuss the function of each first. Now I'll ask you very quickly, what is the function of dorsal respiratory group?
Inspiration.
It is the major inspiratory center. It maintains inspiration and also expiration in a normal resting person. Okay. Any difficulty in understanding this?
No.
In a normal resting person, inspiration and expiration are maintained by dorsal respiratory group. What is the function of ventral respiratory group?
Forceful expiration.
Forceful expiration. In which condition it will be used?
Exercise.
Exercise. Okay. Exercise or any condition where you require more respiration. So one very good example you have given is exercise. Okay. So it is inactive during normal quiet respiration. Sorry. It is inactive during normal quiet respiration. It works only during forceful expiration. When expiration also becomes active, at that time it works. Okay. So that is there. What is the function of pre-Bossinger complex? Quickly, please.
Pacemaker.
Okay, pacemaker is the right word for that. Any other word, please? Okay, rhythm of the breathing or rhythm of respiration is maintained by or initiated by pre-Bossinger complex. Can you remember, please? All of you.
Yes.
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 Rhythm
Yes,
of
doctor.
respiration is maintained by pre-Bossinger complex. Can you remember this?
Yeah.
Pre-Bossinger complex maintains the rhythm of breathing. Can you remember this?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Pneumotaxic center, what is the function?
Switches off
Switching
inspiration,
off
increases
respiration.
respiratory rate, and decreases depth.
Okay, so the first thing to remember for everybody now, you just now you answered very nicely 2 points. Okay, so the first point was it switches off the inspiration. It stops the inspiration. Okay, it switches off the inspiratory signal. Yani, it stops the inspiration and inspiration becomes small. Over it was long, now it becomes small. Now, second thing very important for you to remember, what is the effect? Decreases the depth and
Increase the rate of respiration.
increases the rate of respiration. Decrease depth and increase rate of respiration occurs whenever pneumotaxic center is active. Please remember these 2 points. First was it switch off the inspiration. Second was decrease depth and increase rate of respiration. 2 points you have to remember about this pneumotaxic center. Very important. Please remember that. Okay. This lecture is very, very important. You remember the last 2 lectures, they were not there in exam 1 and exam 2. So therefore, more questions will be there from these 2 lectures as per university policy. Okay. So remember everything about these 2 lectures, whatever we are discussed. We are giving a lot of time here because a lot of questions will be there from these 2 lectures. Okay.
Doctor,
Yes, please.
decrease the depth and increase the rate.
Decrease depth and increase rate of respiration. That is all you have to remember as function of pneumotaxic center. First was switching off inspiration. Second was decrease depth and increase rate. 2 sentences you have to remember about pneumotaxic center. Clear?
Clear.
Okay. Similarly, apneustic center. What is the function?
Delay.
It delays the switching of inspiratory signal. Please, I'm giving you different sentences now. It delays the switching off of inspiratory signal. Or second word is it retards the switch off of inspiratory signal, or it prolongs inspiration. 3 sentences I have given, meaning same. Okay?
Mhm.
Delays the switch off signal, or retards the switch off signal, or prolongs inspiration. This was our first point to remember. 3 ways we have said the first point. Now the second point to remember was, somebody tell me what is the effect? Increase depth and decrease rate of respiration. Okay, increase depth and decrease rate of respiration. Please remember this. Clear?
Clear.
Yes.
Okay. What is a Herring-Brewer reflex?
Stretch receptors.
Stretch receptor, it prevents over expansion or over inflammation of lung. It is inflation, not inflammation. It is a protective reflex preventing excessive or more than normal lung expansion. Okay, it does not allow lung to expand more than normal, otherwise lung will burst. Okay, so just remember this one sentence for this reflex. It is a protective mechanism preventing excessive lung inflation or lung expansion. Clear till this part?
Clear.
Just one sentence here to remember. Let us go ahead now to see the effects. Now, these effects are detected by the body by receptors. Those receptors are called as chemoreceptors. They are present in 2 different places. One is outside the nervous system, one is inside the nervous system. Inside the nervous system, the receptors are called as central chemoreceptors. Outside the brain or nervous system are called as peripheral chemoreceptors. Peripheral chemoreceptors are located in the major arteries, that is arch of aorta. It is called as aortic body, and also in carotid sinus they are called as carotid body. So receptors are peripheral when they are present in aorta or carotid sinus. Okay, so that is peripheral chemoreceptor. Second chemoreceptor is medullary, which is inside the nervous system, inside near the medulla oblongata. Okay, so our first question in relation to this background information is, let's start with the medullary first here. First question was, what is the action of central chemoreceptor?
Bind to hydrogen.
They bind hydrogen. Okay, anything else?
Detects carbon dioxide by hydrogen ion.
Yes. So they detect the level of carbon dioxide in blood through H ion. Okay, this was my first sentence. They detect level of carbon dioxide in blood through H ion. Okay. Second sentence is they detect partial pressure of carbon dioxide in blood through H ion. Both are same thing, isn't it? So remember this sentence, they detect carbon dioxide level, or in other words, proper words, partial pressure of carbon dioxide in blood through H ion. Which ion central chemoreceptors bind? Is it oxygen, is it carbon dioxide, or H ion?
H ion.
H ion.
Which level central chemoreceptors detect?
CO2.
CO2 through
H ion.
H ion. Can you remember this sentence?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Where is the peripheral chemoreceptors? Okay. What do peripheral chemoreceptors detect?
Carbon dioxide.
And
Oxygen. And
oxygen
H
when?
ion.
Okay. Peripheral chemoreceptors will detect oxygen only when it falls below
60.
60 millimeters of mercury. Okay. Can you remember this?
Yeah.
Okay. So they will detect oxygen only when it falls below 60. So normally they will detect carbon dioxide level and to some extent H ion level. Okay. So peripheral chemoreceptors detect carbon dioxide level mainly, and then H ion. Central chemoreceptors through H ion detect carbon dioxide level. So the last and very important question is, who is the main regulator of normal respiration? Of the three, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and H ion.
Carbon dioxide.
Carbon dioxide is the level of carbon dioxide in the body is the main regulator for respiration. Can you remember this? Under normal condition,
Yes.
carbon dioxide level decide what will be your normal respiration. This is the point you have to remember. So whatever we have discussed is summarized here. So you can read that. Okay. What is the effect of exercise? Increase PCO2, decrease PO2, and increase H ion. All of them increases breathing. Okay. And also there will be increase in diffusion. Okay, I don't see one sentence here, but please remember, I think it is in the some other lecture, but remember that it is relevant here. During exercise, the increased O2 demand by the body is met not only by increasing the breathing, also by increasing the surface area of the alveoli. Okay. During exercise, the surface area of the alveoli increases due to vasodilation and opening of bronchi and everything. Okay. Can you remember this sentence?
Can you
Yes.
repeat, doctor?
Okay. During exercise, diffusion also increases by increasing the surface area. So this is all from this lecture. Any question? No question?
No.
So these were the two major lectures for us to revise.
Doctor,
Yes, please.
sorry, I have a question.
Please.
You talk about the ventral respiratory group.
Okay. Yes.
It is only for, sorry, the dorsal respiratory group is only for major for inspiratory, right?
Yes.
Respiratory.
Yes. It will stimulate inspiration only. In normal person, expiration does not require stimulation. It will occur when the inspiration stops, automatic recoil will occur and expiration will occur. So
But
dorsal respiratory group only normally will cause inspiration and will stop, and that will cause expiration. Again, dorsal respiratory group gives causes inspiration and will stop expiration. Okay.
okay.
So this is all you have to remember. Any other question? No question? Okay. So in 2 or 3 minutes, our Zoom session will end. We'll start with the same ID and password again. Okay, within 1 minute. Okay.
Okay.
So in 2 minutes, this session.